Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very exciting video. This is the first day of the road trip to Monaco. We are taking Boris, the absolute weapon that this car is, all the way through France, to Monaco, to Milan, to the Stelvio Pass, and we're doing it all in this video. But why? Back in January of 2021, I bought a completely standard Nissan Micra with the hopes of creating a TikTok series where I allowed my audience to choose all of the modifications to the car.
Top comment picks the next modification.
Mods like the wing, the bonnet scoop, and the wrap were all chosen by my audience, and even the car's name.
It's Boris the shitbox from now on.
But since turbocharging this car last year, it has been absolutely riddled with problems and has required 4 separate engines. It may seem that the odds are against us, but in this video, I want to prove that a £300 community-built turbocharged grocery getter can actually make the 2,500 mile round trip and can be parked outside of one of the most famous casinos in the world in Monaco. Now, as you may have seen in the previous video, we did a host of improvements, modifications, and servicing in order to make Boris as prepared for this road trip as he could possibly be. We fit new grills to Boris, we did an oil change, we fit a new fuel tank, we fit a new exhaust, we fit new brakes, and we did a wheel alignment all in one video because this car needed a lot of work to get ready for a road trip. And it's now finally ready, and we are now finally going. With all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get going on this road trip. Let's make it to Monaco. The first stop was a service station just north of Newbury to meet the people who I would be going with on this road trip. So here we have Matt Armstrong, there he is, Chris Slicks, there he is, and Hannah of course, and their beautiful red Aston Martin. I'm sure a lot of you may have seen this on the internet. Of course, the other Aston Martin joining us, Chris's blue Aston Martin. So the question of this trip is going to be whether the 2 supercars can keep up with the hypercar. Making us part of the gang, are we? That's a downgrade. Aston Martin certified. So the team was assembled. We could now hit the road for the first time, bound for Portsmouth on the south coast. We soon arrived in Portsmouth, and after getting through security, we could board the 24-hour ferry to Saint-Malo in France.
Jack bought fuel through customs.
They didn't check me.
They didn't check you for that massive bomb you've got in your passenger seat.
What the hell?
Whoops. So we have officially arrived here in Saint-Malo. The next stop is Le Mans, yes, where that famous race is. So yeah, let's go. So off we went on the French roads for the very first time, and I was a little bit nervous because I knew if any car was going to break down on this trip, it was going to be Boris, and I really didn't fancy getting stranded in France on the side of the road with no way of getting rescued, so I desperately wanted to keep the car alive. But luckily it wasn't too long before all of the cars needed a fill-up.
Veuillez raccrocher le pistolet.
How'd you use this? With a full tank of petrol and fresh new knowledge on how French petrol stations worked, we were now back on the road and very close to our next milestone, Le Mans. And after a bit more driving, we were there. This is Le Mans, undeniably the home of racing. Here you'll find an 8.5 mile long track which has had an unmatched impact on the world of motorsport. Annually, the oldest endurance race on our planet takes place right here, and many ferocious rivalries have been fought on this hallowed ground, such as Ferrari versus Ford. It's no overstatement to say that the peak of automotive ingenuity has driven around this track. So as petrol heads through and through, we had to stop here.
we have now arrived here at Le Mans, and I am standing on the racetrack. And believe it or not, the racetrack is actually converted into just a normal public road when it's not being used for racing. And if you guys don't know about Le Mans, it's quite possibly the most famous race in the world. It's a 24-hour endurance race, and it is where the famous Ferrari versus Ford battle was held.
After driving around the track some more and maybe doing some donuts as well, we then found the perfect place to test our 3 cars' exhaust notes. Let me know down in the comments who you think won that sound test, but of course we were back on the road and it was a little bit rainy. And it wasn't long before Boris's tiny little fuel tank needed refilling again. Apart from the rain, everything seemed to be going well until Boris had a serious problem.
My gearbox is absolutely shagged. Yeah, my gearbox is not full. That's a bit worrying.
Boris was having a major problem with his gearbox, and this persisted for an hour until the car became impossible to drive, so I had to pull over and see if I could find out what this issue was.
I think what's happened is the bolts come loose or off, and it's basically when I was building it, I put the bolt in the wrong way around, and it had the exact same feeling as this. It just wouldn't go into gear because the bolt was blocking it from going into gear. So we need a jack. I don't know where a jack is.
There's a jack there. I don't know if people would have had money on it. What car would probably break down first, but...
This car's not broken down yet, alright?
Okay, it's got a small issue.
So before I could find out what was causing this, I needed to get Boris up on the spare wheel so that I could at least get underneath the car and inspect the underside.
Come on, big licks. Burn that clutch out. Yeah, man.
We came prepared.
He's advanced.
Look at this beauty. It's
Nice.
coming in handy.
Oh, bro, that's class.
Is it?
Yeah, that's very good. Although that is hot. Everything is hot.
Now, after getting underneath the car, I didn't immediately see the problem, but after 5 minutes, I saw something.
This is the problem child, Bay.
Oh my god, I see the issue.
Is it not good?
Oh my god, that is not looking good, bruv.
Oh no, what is it?
Oh,
What's happened?
okay. Oh no, it's fine. Oh boys, this is so much easier than I expected. Oh yes.
To summarise this issue, the bushing that sits inside this piece of the gear selector had fallen out, and all I had to do to fix it was just to push it back in and bolt it back up.
What is that?
Wait, Brett, I feel like a proper mechanic now. Ladies and gentlemen, gear selector is now back in business. I have absolutely no idea how that came off.
It was a massive relief to have the car fixed and the gear changes feeling just like they should, and because it was getting late, we had to head to our first hotel in Oradour-sur-Glane, which was roughly 500 miles from Monaco, and we would continue the journey in the morning.
3, 2, 1.
That it was with the motor, he has a leakage of oil.
Yeah, there is a little bit, yeah.
Yes.
But you just got to keep topping it up.
After assuring some French men that Boris's oil leak was absolutely nothing to worry about, we could then leave Oradour-sur-Glane. Now, we were up here in Oradour-sur-Glane, and we needed to drive 5.5 hours all the way down to Montpellier on the south coast. Now, this drive may have been long, but my god, was it absolutely stunning. We passed through some beautiful French villages with some unbelievable architecture. crossed the Millau Bridge, which is the highest bridge in the world. And after stopping off for some coffee, we didn't think it could get any better, but it did. The driving roads became absolutely sensational, and I was having such a good time driving Boris around.
France is a beautiful country. If any of you get an opportunity to go on a road trip in France, then do it, because it is stunning. The roads are so much better than the UK's roads. Oh my god, they're smooth, and the scenery as well is unreal. Unreal. And what car would you rather do it in than a turbocharged Nissan Micra?
After an unforgettable day of driving, Boris and I arrived in Montpellier, admittedly a little bit behind the two Astons.
I am the meaning of speed.
Is that going to last for tomorrow?
So, ladies and gents, here we are in Montpellier. To my disbelief, Boris has made it here. It is dark. The weather has all of a sudden turned tropical, which is very nice. And yeah, we've had a long day of driving today. We only have a 3-hour day tomorrow going to Monaco. So I will see you in the morning. No, I'm not saying that again. I would. Bruv, you see, you get a so count. I got a ladies and gents count in my video.
So many.
It's now day 3, ladies and... I can't stop myself from saying it. I don't know why even I say ladies and gents. It's like 99.9% men as well. I should say men.
Aston Martin update.
First world problem, my aircon's making my throat a bit dry, but apart from that, we're good.
Boris update.
I've got no aircon, so my throat's nice and wet.
We soon left Montpellier and began the 3.5-hour drive through the south of France to Monaco.
But before we get to Monaco, I need to tell you about today's video sponsor, LabZ. These guys create, quite frankly, some of the best turbochargers on the market. Look at this absolute monster. That is actually sick. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the LabZ Turbo. Look at this turbo. Oh my god, you can actually see and feel the quality on this. So the first thing you notice about a LabZ Turbo is this beautiful carbon outfit. I mean, isn't that just absolutely stunning? If you have carbon on your car, maybe a splitter or a spoiler, this is going to go so well with that theme. Also, all of these LabZ Turbos have an aluminium center housing, which not only keeps your turbo nice and light, but it gives it better heat dispersion as well. Another thing, these turbos all have the option for water cooling. So if you're going on a track day and your turbo is getting hot, water cooling is an awesome option on one of these. Alongside the turbo, you also get a fitting kit, which includes hoses, gaskets and studs. I mean, just look at the quality of the parts in there.
To add to that, this specific model of turbo produces up to 770 brake horsepower at the wheels, which is very impressive.
So after all of that, if you're interested in getting yourself a LabZ Turbo for your project or build, then make sure to click the link in the description below, because LabZ are offering 5% off discount on all of their turbos, and on top of that, if you use my code at the checkout, which I'll put on the screen now, then you can get an additional 5% off, which is going to make a massive difference to the price. So thank me later.
Now, Boris left the hotel in Montpellier with next to no petrol at all. And it was at this point that Chris and Matt decided they wanted to race their Astons whilst I was trying to drive as economically as I could. This left me with no one to follow, and Boris's 41-litre fuel tank soon ran out and I was stranded on the side of the road.
Okay, so is it like a dual carriageway road or? Yeah. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Can't wait. All right, well, Chris to the rescue as always. As always.
Oh my god.
Hello, my friend.
What happened, mate?
So I went to the roundabout, and obviously because you guys ditched me, I had no clue where to go.
What, we literally went slow?
And I went around and roundabout like 3 times, like, wait, which one's the second exit again? I was like, I think it's this one. And then, yeah, it wasn't that one.
I just want to show you something. Nice full tank I've got there.
Oh, it's actually, you know, it's weight saving when you have no battery.
So now that we were back on the road as a trio, we were making some good progress towards Monaco. But there was somewhere we wanted to visit first.
I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now.
And that place is, of course, Saint-Tropez.
Yeah, I'm on the way. I don't...
So we have all bought, what are these, red berry coladas? Good one. Oh, that is banging. That is gorgeous. Oh my god. That is very good.
Yeah, when I blow up, I'ma soar high like Peter Pan. In real life, be living out my dreams.
After our quick pit stop at Saint-Tropez, we then stopped at a service station in order to get our cars looking Monaco ready.
Dogs, y'all swipe it once without thinking twice, cuz this what I was made for. Man, I know this what I can.
And after the clean, Boris was looking beautiful. So then we could all set off on the short trip from Saint-Tropez to Monaco. And it wasn't too long until we had arrived at our hotel.
Stop until I find it. Write my name in diamonds, but all these...
Now, Monaco is known for its supercars, so it's safe to say that Boris stuck out like a sore thumb.
Look how you park.
Right, apparently I didn't park in the right way. I don't really know why. I've never done this before, but ladies and gentlemen, Boris the Micra has made it here to Monte Carlo, Monaco, and I reckon the valet driver's gonna stall it, but we'll have to see about that. I would actually put 10 quid on it.
Once the valet driver got used to the clutch, he then parked Boris out the front with some very nice cars.
Ball with my dogs, y'all swipe it once without thinking twice, cuz this what I was made for. Man, I know this what I came for. On the beach.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Monaco. We drove around for most of the day, taking in all of the sights until it was time to try and park Boris outside of the most famous casino in the world.
So the plan of action now is to get in Boris and drive it to the Casino de Monte Carlo, and we're going to try and park the car right outside. Let's do it.
So this was it. The moment of truth. Would Boris get to park outside of the most famous casino in the world? Now, if any of you are wondering why this is such a big deal, it's because this casino is very prestigious, and to keep up appearances, they only allow supercars. So to get Boris outside would be absolutely unbelievable.
Oh no! Oh, Boris!
So, unfortunately, we did get denied. The morning after, we left Monaco and headed for the planned finish line of this road trip, Portofino, a beautiful port on the Italian coastline.
All three cars have now finally made it here to Italy. We have just left Monaco, and I am in utter disbelief that Boris, the 1 litre turbocharged Nissan Micra, has actually made it this far. It's keeping up with the two Aston Martins, and it's a 1 litre turbo. I am very proud of this car, but we are nowhere near done yet, so let's keep going, and hopefully let's get to Portofino.
It wasn't long before we reached Portofino, where we met a very thin road and some impatient Italians.
Oh, this is sketchy, man. Everyone's beeping.
You're never going to get through that.
and these scooter drivers, yeah, beep, beep, beep. In Italy, if you do come and drive in Italy, you will know that that's really helping. Do you know what? If he didn't beep, we would be f***ed.
Get over as far as you can. Oh.
Wow, and there's a bus, there's a bus. Oh. Thank you for beeping, mate. You're so helpful. Do you know, I love when they beep. It just means, oh yes, my car's now narrower. It is narrower because you beeped. Safe to say, the country of Italy is not the biggest fan of our convoy.
Maximum stress.
After getting through the traffic jam, we then eventually made it to our hotel. And were able to look around the gorgeous Portofino. Now, whilst Portofino was absolutely beautiful, we found ourselves wanting some more hard driving. So that is when we decided to drive 250 miles to one of the best driving roads in the world, the notorious Stelvio Pass. All that was left to do was to get there. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it all the way to Stelvio without running into some more Italian traffic.
As it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, even the Italians have fake M-badged E92s. Oh my god, man. I love this car.
That night we stayed at an amazing hotel with front seats to a lightning storm that was taking place over the Alps.
Whoa!
So we've woken up at this hotel and the views are absolutely unbelievable as expected. And today we're going to the Stelvio Pass. Let's go.
We were now getting ever closer to Boris's biggest challenge yet.
Right guys, we are about 20 minutes away from the Stelvio Pass now, and the road's already getting absolutely excellent, so I had to start the recording early. But yeah, I am so excited. This is apparently one of the best driving roads in the world. I mean, and I'm going there in Boris. I mean, I'm so excited. The road's already sick. I mean, what a dream. Guys, just look behind me. Isn't that the most beautiful road you have ever seen in your life? Boris has made it here, to my utter shock. That car has a 1 litre turbo. It is probably the opposite of what you want to be driving, but we made it, ladies and gentlemen. I am so happy. And I mean, that is just quite possibly one of the most amazing views I have ever seen in my life. And it's all thanks to that little car right there. So with all of that said, guys, let's take Boris up the Stelvio Pass.
This is it. In the words of Jeremy Clarkson, 15 miles of asphalt spaghetti draped on an Alp. The dramatic snow-capped mountains combined with this quite unbelievable road made for an absolutely spectacular atmosphere. All that was left to do was to drive.
This was voted the world's best road by Top Gear in 2008 with 48 hairpin turns, and it is not only a lot of fun, but the views are phenomenal. Come on, Boris, up the hill. car was not made for this, but it is doing it so well. Brakes, that is certain death. Downshift to second, nice little straight.
We could have driven for hours. But unfortunately, it had to come to an end at some point.
Guys, what a way to end this video. Boris the Micra, which has quite possibly one of the best stories of any car, was built by you lot over on TikTok, and we did a turbo and we built it all ourselves, and this car has not only got to Stelvio Pass, but it has gone up it faster than a Bugatti Chiron. I mean, isn't it looking just absolutely sensational with the mountain backdrop, guys? I am so happy. I do have to get it back though, but ladies and gentlemen, what a day. If you did go on to enjoy this video, I'm gonna leave it here. Then make sure to smash that like button and click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and make sure to let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Boris's performance over this road trip. Did you think he was gonna break down permanently, and did you think he would make it here to Stelvio Pass? And ladies and gents, I'll catch you in the next one.
It's a different mode. I'ma have to make a pen of
This one looks less steep.